together. We're not just feeding families.
So we're gonna try to ring it. Okay. Okay. So I want to go over a couple of things. If you've been out of the loop for a little while, I love to tell you guys about announcements, just to share with you guys exactly what's going on in this neck of the woods. If you kind of fallen off the bandwagon, or maybe you didn't watch the family call, or maybe you haven't been checking out the chats at all, our business builder kits just got a promo code with it. I posted it in the chat earlier, and this is for literally this week only. So it ends on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. I believe. So we want to make sure we get on the ground with those follow-ups. I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. So it is the full kit. I know I had a lot of you in my inbox asking me and trying to clarify that. So they are going to get the slimming gummies, the TFX, the skinny brew, the tumbler, and the frother with it, which is very, very exciting for a $99 business builder kit, because that's like over $200 worth of product and gifts right there. So our company is definitely taking care of our new distributors, and I could not be more excited to be on such a winning company's team. We are just in the boom season, baby, and it's a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of craziness. Okay, so this Zoom specifically is going to be talking about month-end madness and how you can maximize your results. So you want to get out a pen, a piece of paper, make sure you're taking notes. That's what leaders do. We're learners first, you know. So when it comes down to it, wanted to make sure I just reminded you guys just one last time that there is Zoom calls that are happening that Jen McCollum and a few of us other diamond and above leaders have put on for everybody. Some of them are not able to get covered just because they're at odd times, and a lot of us have our own schedules already set up for our family and for our own Zoom calls and stuff like that. So if you ever see one that's not going on, usually we will update you ahead of time. This last week it was rough because I didn't realize that there wasn't a Thursday night call until like literally the last second. So that's why I updated you guys. So sorry about that. Trying to do our best to kind of stay consistent with letting you guys know exactly what's going on ahead of time. But it's going to be the same the Zoom ID, which is Jen's ID every single time. So also this Zoom call is going to continue. I believe we have 2 more weeks left. Nope. 3/1 is when this one ends. So 3/1 is the very last series for this Zoom series specifically. This has been really fun. This has literally taken us back to the beginning of my business and kind of sharing with you guys different things that have propelled me forward. This was specifically geared towards new distributors and people who are just jumping back in their business, but we've kind of made it fun and kind of included everybody. So it's pretty exciting. This is on my YouTube channel. So if you are wanting the replays for any of these videos that we have done with the New to You series, go to my YouTube channel. They're all on there. Their label is New to You, and they're all numbered in order. Okay. Especially if you have a new distributor that hops on later on down the road and you want to show them how to work this business and give them tips from the top, that is absolutely a great idea, is to share Zoom calls with them. Okay. So this Zoom call after next week, this Zoom series is going to end, but our actual team Zoom will continue on. We'll just have a totally different Zoom series geared towards different things. We might have some new and upcoming leaders on this next Zoom series. I'm pretty excited about that. We might have different people kind of hopping on, sharing their story. Not sure exactly what exactly is going to happen, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and it usually is. Okay. So that's that. So I want to talk to you guys tonight a little bit about month-end madness, okay? Does anybody feel overwhelmed with month-end so far? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you feel overwhelmed. Me too. Okay. It gets really, really crazy, especially when you're going for a promotion and you're literally only like 15 orders away. And you're like, holy crap, I've got literally a week and a half to make this happen. It can get really crazy. And especially if you're going for big, big bonuses that are going to be life-changing for you. Okay. The Ruby bonus, I think, is what a lot of our team is going for. And then we're all going for the Emerald bonus and then the Diamond bonus right after that. So there is no stopping. Once you get there, we're just going to keep going. Okay. We're going to keep on going. The grind is going to get heavier, and the mindset is going to need to be, it's going to require you to shift your mindset even more, the more that you go on, but it's going to be freeing and it's going to be so exciting. So I want to share a little story with you guys about when I first started. I might have shared this on another Zoom call that we did in this series, but I can't remember to save my life. You know, got that mom brain, that brain fog. So anyways, long story short, when I first started my business about 5 years ago, I started and my upline quit on me 2 months in. And so I ended up not working my business for the first 5 months because I didn't really know what I was doing. And I was a follower at that point. So it was really hard for me to lead myself. I didn't really know what to do. I just knew that I had this baby at home and I wanted to be home with her, and I did not want to struggle, and I didn't want to have to worry about paying my mortgage and losing out and missing out on everything. And so I would kind of just consistently watch everybody else and wonder why, you know, things just weren't going anywhere. And I would be like, why is this girl winning? Why is that girl winning? And thankfully I had a girl that was on my sideline that was in one of the chats that I was in, and she was just winning in her business so much. And she was all throughout the chats, all throughout the team pages. So I reached out to her, just being her sideline. She was not my upline. She did not make money from me. I did not make money from her. And I said, girl, how are you doing this? And she reached back out to me, and she explained to me exactly what she was doing. But then she gave me a reference to a leader that could help me. And so give me 1 second, guys. Bo is crying at my door. 1 second. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I thought my other half had it, but apparently he doesn't. So he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. It just happens sometimes. Bo is a mama's boy at night, and so that's all that he wants is me. He usually literally sits right with me every single night, and I work my business with him by my side. And then we go and we lay down together every single night, and I work literally with my arm, like him, like in my arm right here, especially month end. We lay right here and I just work my business. My arm goes numb half the time, but I don't care because I'm doing it for him, right? So month end is super crazy. My son really is just a mama's boy, and that's just how it is. Okay. So anyways, long story short, where was I was talking about my upline and being able to get back with, you know, get in contact with an upline that was actually working the business that could help me. So she referred me to her. I finally reached out to this girl. We started talking. She guided me on a few things, but it wasn't like an in-depth training. And so there was one point where I had done all the things that she told me, because she said there was 3 things that I had to do every single day. I had to message for host to post, I had to post on Facebook, and I had to grow my network every single day. So I went like crazy, adding and messaging and posting. Guys, I would send out thousands of messages a day. I would add hundreds of people every single day. Back then, Facebook was not as finicky as it is right now. It started being finicky when I was going for diamond, and boy, was that scary. But when it came down to it, I was doing all the 3 things that she was telling me to do, and I was doing them like a crazy person. But then I kept going to her because I was like, I don't understand why I'm doing all these things, but yet I'm not getting anybody. Like, nobody's starting with me. Nobody's becoming a loyal customer of me. Nobody's signing as a distributor with me. And one of the biggest piece of advice that she gave me that was like so eye-opening, she said, are you following up with people? And I said, what do you mean following up? She said, are you reaching back out to them after you messaged them once? And I said, no, I didn't know I needed to do that. Right. And she said, girlfriend, it is month end. you need to go follow up with every single person that you were talking to this entire month. And you've got to create that urgency with them. You've got to go get in their inbox. There is no waiting, because if you don't get to them, someone else is going to, and then you're going to reach back out to them and they're going to say, no, I already signed with somebody else, because it was month end and it was beginning of the year. Okay. I went Ruby literally in February that year. So if you think about it, it's the same exact time people are getting their income tax, and it was absolutely crazy. We were in month end and I had not done one follow-up in my business at all. And so I wasn't getting anybody. So I started doing my follow-ups. There were so many people who said, oh, I already signed up. There were so many people that were like, yep, I already started with this person and so. And there were so many people who were just like, telling me no, because they already got started. But then I started getting person after person after person after person getting started, because I had finally started doing my follow-ups consistently. And so one of the biggest things that you've got to know is that month end is absolutely an excuse to follow up with people. It does not matter whether you talked to them a month ago. It doesn't matter whether you talked to them a week ago. It doesn't matter even if you talked to them yesterday. Okay. Following up with the people that are most interested. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Write that down. When it comes down to it, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, which means that no matter if you're following up or not, even if you're following up, the right person is going to see that as, well, this girl is actually working it. Well, this girl is actually needing it. Well, this girl is actually putting in the work. And if she's willing to be this persistent now, she's going to be even more persistent when I get started with her, right? They're going to see your commitment and your persistence as a strength, and people want to sign with people like that. Okay. The people who are negative and come back at you and say things like, why are you still messaging me? Or, no, I'm not interested. I had someone on our team that's new that got a message earlier today that said something like, stop, in big caps lock letters. Okay. She just blocked him, because when it comes down to it, that's just the wrong person. That person wasn't meant to get started, right? But that's not going to stop me from going to find the other Chelseas of the world. That's not going to stop me from going and finding that person who's seriously desperate to grow their hair out because they lost all their hair, right? That's not going to stop me from sending a message to someone asking them if they're still interested in the detox drink because they've been having trouble going to the bathroom for days and they're in serious pain, right? Like, that's not going to stop me from going out and helping other people. And so the follow-up is the most important. And one of the biggest tips I can give you guys at month end is to create urgency when you're sending those messages. And so we have a board on our team specifically. It's called Messaging Madness. Okay. And when you go into that Messaging Madness board and you click on the board that says promo follow-up messages, there is messages for the first 6 messages in that board. You will see that there is $99 business builder kit follow-ups. Okay. Now, when it comes to these $99 business builder kit follow-ups, a lot of them are giving them 2 different options. And you'll notice this. One will be saying the $99 kit. The next option will say that you can get started for $30. Why is that? I want to explain this to you. And if you're watching this months down the road and you're like, what are you talking about, $99 business builder kits? Okay, this is just a promo that's going on right now. Even if this promo was not happening, I would still go to people and say you can either start for $149 or $50. Okay, so that's literally the 2 different options. And the reason why we have this is because right now we use this app called Klarna to get people started. And they can either order their starter pack in full, or they can use the app called Klarna. That's right in the App Store. Everybody has access to it to make payments on their starter pack. So we are actually helping people get started for way cheaper if they want to do the payment option. Now they have to continue on to pay make those payments, and it's every 2 weeks, but you're physically getting them started for 1/4 of the cost today. And that is why we say $30, because with tax and shipping, it usually comes out to right around $30 for their first payment. So we've got those $99 business builder kit promo messages. Utilize them. anybody you've talked to about the business, anybody that you've talked to about the product messages are right there too, creating urgency. They're right in your potential follow-up messages, right in our team board. And so when it comes to your follow-up messages, you want to create urgency. And here's some key phrases that you guys can use when you're doing your follow-ups. If you are either looking at this and using this, or maybe you're just trying to come up with some on your own, totally okay. I definitely recommend using the boards because they're all in there for you already. But here's some key phrases. Number one is, hey, I'm putting in a couple of last minute orders for this. Do you want me to add one for you too? The second one that I would recommend is saying something like, hey, I'm down to my last spot for this. Do you want me to put one in for you before it's gone? Hey, I've got one last position open. Do you want to snag it before it's gone? Hey, this is your last shot to get in and get started. I'm super excited because I've got one discount code left. You see how I'm creating urgency? I'm making the decision for them. I'm saying, hey, listen, you've got to get in right now or there's no other option for you. These people who are interested, most of them are they are living in fear, and that is why they're not getting started with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have the money or they don't have the time right now. It's just because they are afraid and skeptical. So and they don't know how to tell you that without sounding crazy. Okay. They don't want to hurt your feelings. 99% of people are yellows. Like, it's literally crazy. So when it comes down to it, they will say other things instead of telling you flat out that they cannot do it right now at that moment, or instead of telling you that they don't think that they have time, or they don't think that they have money, or they don't think that they do this. So it's so important to create that urgency, because that will flip a switch in their head saying, oh my gosh, if I don't do this right now, then I'm not going to. It's going to help them jump out of the nest that they've been sitting in. It's going to help them jump out of their safety zone, their comfort zone. So I highly recommend getting that urgency, those urgency messages going. Okay. Another thing that I do is that I don't hesitate. If someone talks to me today and they say that they're interested, and they're, after I've already done follow up with them, okay, I follow up with them today, they send me a message back and say, yeah, I'm interested, but then they kind of ghost me. There's nothing else to it after I send the price again, right? Or after they say, yeah, I can do that, and then they say, oh yeah, I can make it happen, and then I say, okay, well, is your billing and shipping address the same? When I send that message, I can't tell you how many people go ghost. They literally fall off the face of the earth. And so what I do is the very next day I follow up with them again. Because how many times have you literally like been sitting there working your business and your kid starts crying? Or you've got to all of a sudden let your dog out. And so you have to set your phone down and walk away from it. Do you know how many people are doing that on a regular basis? And so some of these people who you're thinking that are ghosting you and they're doing it on purpose, a lot of them just sat their phone down and they forgot about the conversation they were having with you because there was something that was important right there in that moment. Okay. So it's so important to reach back out and do the follow up, because it's a constant reminder of, hey, oh yeah, we've got to do that. It's kind of like the text messages that you would get from, I think about my favorite store, like clothing store that I shop from. It's called Glitzy Girl. They send me text messages all the time letting me know what is like 20% off, 15% off. I can't tell you how many times I click on the link that they send me. I go and I look at the site and then I don't actually order. I wait, and then they send me another message and I click on the link and I don't order. And then the next time I click on the link and I don't order. And I do it multiple times, at least 20 times before I actually go to the site and I actually order, right? And it's not always because I don't have the money. It's not always because I don't have the time. A lot of the times it's just because I click on it and then I have something that's more important that takes my time for a minute. And then I forget about it. And it's not on my to-do list, so I'm not going back to it right then and there. So you have to be the one that reminds them consistently until they get started. That's all that you're doing, is just giving them that reminder when they're busy, their days are super busy. So create that urgency for people. And I'm going to give you an example, okay? I'm going down, I'm doing follow-ups right now. Anybody that messages me today, message me back today, I'm also going to follow up with them again on Friday. Okay. Now, even if these people that I'm following up with from this week, last week, and the week before don't respond back to me, I'm going to hit them with another follow-up on Friday. And my follow-up might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit more sentimental or a little bit more authentic, but it's still going to be a follow-up on Friday, because some people don't have the money today, but then when they get paid on Friday, they do. Or when they get their income taxes on Thursday, they will. And so you have to catch them right at the right moment in their life where they are going to and willing to make the decision that they need this. They need the money or they need the products to help change their life. Okay. So those are two really, really great tips. Now I have 5 tips that I want to share with you guys. That you guys know I love to do numbers. I just love to give you guys rapid fire tips. I think that it's a great way to teach you. And I remember when I first started, I had a lot of leaders who did the same thing for me, and I just numbered them going down, and it just got into my head so much easier than just going all over the place and hopping all over the place. Okay. So I want to give you guys 5 rapid tips on month end and what it should look like at month end. And things that I personally do to help myself gain loyal customers and distributors at month end. I'm going to start with number 1. This is probably one of the most scariest thing, especially if you're a yellow. Okay. Number 1 is voice messaging. Okay. When you're talking to people, the more authentic you are, the more you sound like you, the more you don't sugarcoat things, the more you are 100% yourself, the more people are going to be attracted to you. And so I always recommend to send those voice messages, those quick last minute voice messages, where I will literally take my phone and I won't even think about it. I won't sit there and think about it, because I will over exaggerate and I will care too much about what they think about me to the point where it scares me out of it. And that could have been my diamond that just joined my team, right? So instead, I just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just click the start button on my recording. And I sit here with my phone like this, and I say, hey girl, I just want to reach out to you really, really quick because I'm having a month-end deal. You can get started with this for 25% off. I'm placing orders tonight. Do you want me to add one in for you too? That sounds like me. That is me, right? So they are getting the most authentic part of me. How many of you guys have gotten a voice message from me before? Raise your hand. Okay. If you got a voice message from me before you got started and you were enrolled by me, put a 1 in the chat. I gotta open my chat, I guess. Probably should. If you got one beforehand, drop a 1 in the chat. One. I know a lot more of you guys did. So I'm going to call you out on it. When it comes down to it, you either got a voice message from me, or we talked on the phone, or we got on the phone, or we did something 9 times out of 10. Okay. Some of you did. I mean, most of you did. Some of you might have gotten me at a time in my life where it was really, really rough. Right. And so you didn't get on the phone with me. But I'm going to tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, I'm sending voice messages like a crazy person. I am sending messages. I am following up with those voice messages because people can hear my voice. They hear that I'm real. They hear that I'm a real person. They might hear my kids in the background and I don't care. They might be screaming. They might be talking about something about your butt. You know, like they just are weird like that. That's how kids are, right? And so when it comes down to it, and that's literally, Lisa, you laugh, but my kids, they say weird stuff like that all the time. But they literally will say some weird stuff, or they'll be making weird grunting noises or something. And I don't care. I will literally have them screaming like crazies in the background, and I will send that voice message because I want people to know that I am me and that I work this business at home with my babies by my side. And that's how I roll, you know? And so if I can do it like that, they can do it like that too. And for those loyal customers that hear that, they know what I'm fighting for. So they are much more likely to order from me because they know that I'm not working for myself. I'm working for my babies. Hands down. Okay. So don't feel afraid of your kids coming and talking to you. I can't tell you how many voice messages I've gone to send, and Bo will come running in and he'll want to hug me or kiss me. Bailey just came in and crying about something. I don't even know what she was crying about. I couldn't understand her. But when it comes down to it, she started walking in crying right when I was in the middle of a voice message to someone. And I still sent that voice message. because I need people to know that, like, I've got people literally, like, I've got my kids here with me. I've got my family here with me. I've had voice messages where I've asked Matt a question right in the middle of me sending a voice message because I'm like, here, there, and everywhere. And so the more authentic you are, the more they realize that you're a real person and you're not a robot and you've got real people around you, and that everything that you're sharing on your Facebook is real. It's not a fake. It's not a show. It's not something that you're just putting on for nothing. Those voice messages are going to be everything for you. The honesty is going to be everything for you. And if you go to send a voice message and talk to someone and you don't know the answer right off the bat, tell them. Say, I'm going to go and find that answer for you. I'm so excited. Literally, don't feel bad to say, hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to go and make sure that I get the correct answer for you. I get the correct ingredients for you. And then I'm going to message you right back. Okay. They're so understanding, and people would much rather you do that than sit there and spin in circles, right? Or to feel like you're not authentic and you're not a real person. You're just trying to get their money. Okay. So important to do that. Number 2, share your story on your post, on your stories. If you're doing TikTok, which we should be, right? If you're doing all the things, share your story every single day. I can't share with you guys enough how important this is. This is not just for your loyal customers. I mean, this is not just for your distributors, but this is also for your loyal customers. If you're sharing your story, you're letting people into your life and you're showing them who you really are. In order for people to get started as a loyal customer or a distributor, they have to get to like you, know you, and trust you. They can't get to like you, know you, and trust you if you're not even letting them get to like you, know you, and trust you, right? They can't know you unless you put yourself out there. And so I'm consistently sharing my story. I'm consistently talking about where I come from, why I started in the first place, the objections that I had, and the worries and the doubts and the fears that I had, the things that I struggled with, and that where this business is taking me. What are we doing with our team? I also share with them my personal development journey. They know which books I'm reading. They know the things that I'm learning in my personal development. They know the, just all the things that are going on. They know the struggles that I'm going through with my kids, and they know all these things. And the reason why they know these things is because I need to be relatable. People will not sign with me as a distributor unless they feel like they can relate to me on some level. So I share with them how broke I was. I share with them how mentally I was frustrated. I was stuck. I felt alone. I share with them the struggles sometimes that I have with anxiety, right? I share with them my journey with reading the Bible. You know how many people have never read the Bible before? How crazy is that? I never did. I never did. And so I'm reading it now and I'm sharing that journey. And there's so many people reaching out to me saying, hey, like, I want to do that too. How are you doing it? How are you understanding it? And I'm sharing my tips with it, and they're getting to like me, know me, and trust me. They're trusting me. And in turn, it's turning them into customers and distributors because they are like, I vibe with this girl. I get this girl. This girl could be my best friend. They're seeing me and they're seeing who I am, and my people are finding me. Now, there are some people who don't like me, and that's okay. I don't think they're a bad person. I don't think that they are meaning to be negative or anything like that. They just don't click with me. It's okay. Not everybody's going to like us, right? And when we acknowledge that, we can authentically be ourselves, and it is the most freeing feeling ever. And I want every single person on this team to feel what I feel when I am 100% myself every single day. I hope that you are too. So share your story. People should know where you're going and where you come from verbatim. Like, if you really looked at your story on Facebook, when was the last time you actually shared where you come from and where you're headed? When was the last time you actually shared on your story, your actual story, right? When was the last time that you actually told someone why you got started in this business, right? When you really think about it, we don't do it as much as we should be doing it. And I'm telling you, we should be doing it every single day, especially in month end. Month end is going to be your key to making things happen. And the more that you share your story, the more people are going to be watching you. And the more people that watch you, the more people can get to like you, know you, and trust you. And the more people that get to like you, know you, and trust you will actually get started with you. Okay. So be yourself 100%. Number 3. Okay. This is a key point. Surround yourself with other runners. There's a reason why we do certain group chats for certain people. It's because we are taking the runners and putting them with the runners. We're putting the walkers with the walkers. We are putting the squatters with the squatters. When it comes down to it, not everybody is willing to run right now in this season. And so we want to make sure that the people who are not ready to run don't pull the people who are ready to run down. You want to find the people who are ready to run, and you will naturally start to run. Find those people, reach out to those people, girls, like we have sideline all over this team. We have sideline within our team, like just our team, Numb and Hustler. We have Stacy Lisa's entire team. We have Jen McCollum's entire team. There is so much sideline that is literally flooding our inbox every single day. If you vibe with someone and you see someone running, it is your right to be able to reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I like how fast you're going. I want to be there too. Do you want to run with me? Let's do this, right? Sometimes I used to have a friend that used to work with me all the time, and she was a sideline. We didn't make each other money at all. She was actually a part of my beginning of my story. And I used to go to her and say, hey, do you want to do matchy? And she would be like, okay, sounds good. And what I mean by matchy, for those of you who are newer, is like, you get a loyal customer, I'll get one too, and I'll match you. You want to race to 10 host to post? That is the funnest thing for me. When we can say, let's race to 10 host to post, right? We will go all in on 10 host to post as fast as we possibly can. And, you know, you could do a little bet in there. You could do a little whatever, like whoever loses, or whoever doesn't get the 10 host to post has to shout the other person out or something like that, you know, like something just so cool like that. And it just creates a fun environment where you get to work with other people. Reach out to those sideline, get around the runners. If you want to get around your upline, reach out to your upline. Say, hey, I need a little boost. Send me a quick, you know, voice message to hype me up, you know. And get around those people who are on YouTube. They're sharing their motivational speeches, you know. If you feel like you have no one, when in doubt, YouTube it out. That's what I say. Go find a YouTube video that's going to hype you up and make it happen. I used to do that all the time when I almost said when I was younger, but it really was when I was younger, right? When I first started my business, I did this all the time because I constantly needed that hype. I needed that excitement. I would play that music like I played at the beginning of this Zoom call, and I would hype myself up, and I would just be, let's do it. Come on, we got this, you know. I'd be hooting and hollering and screaming. I'd get Bailey in here. She'd be dancing. We'd be so excited. We would just be talking about just making it happen, you know. I would be fired up. You got to get yourself going. There's a reason why Tony Robbins gets everybody jumping up and down before he actually does his speech and everybody sits down. It's because he wants you to get fired up. He wants you to feel the energy that he has. And the reason is because he's a runner, right? And when you surround yourself with other people with big energy, and other people who are excited, and other people who are fighting for their goals and running and hustling and working their butt off, there's no room to complain anymore. There's no room to cry anymore. There's no room to sit there and dwell and worry and wish and hope that you would actually make it, because you're going to have so much energy around you and so much excitement around you that there is nowhere that you can go but up, right? There is no more Facebook is doing this and Facebook is doing that, and I can't do this and I can't do that. It's just are you going to keep going? But are you going to keep going? You know, and you're going to have so many people around you who are going to be saying the same exact thing. And at that point, there's no option for you but to move forward and put one foot in front of the other, pivot and make it happen. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, this is my favorite one. Okay. I do this a lot because we need to put our goal out there, okay? What I mean by that is we've got to make sure that everybody knows what we're fighting for. Facebook is the best accountability partner. What I mean by that is you've got to make sure that you are writing the goal that you're going for. So even if you're scared to death, like drop a 2 in the chat if you're scared to death of this next level in your business. Drop a 3 in the chat if you are like, I don't know if I can make this happen or not at this point. And you are so nervous, you don't know if it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to come true. You don't know if it's really going to be you, if you're really going to have your account switch over to Ruby or Diamond or Emerald or whatever. Yeah, exactly. We all are. Okay. I am terrified. I'm going for double diamond right now, guys. I am terrified for what this next level is going to look like. I don't know what my account's going to say at the end of this month. I don't know what my account's going to say at the end of next month. I don't know. But I do know that I am willing to focus on it and get my butt in gear and keep it in gear and surround myself with people who believe in themselves and believe in me to the point where there is no way for me to go but to move forward. I'm going to have to push forward. I'm going to have to move forward. And you know what the best way to hold yourself accountable and to get to the grindstone? It's to put it out there on Facebook. So get it on your stories. What's the bonus you're going for? Why are you going for it? Right? I'm going to literally put on my Facebook, and I do it almost all the time. I put on my Facebook story. I'll say, I'm going for this bonus. This is what it's going to pay for. I'm going for this promotion. This is what it's going to do for my team. I talk about other people on our team and I talk about their goals specifically. And I say, this is what they're going for. This is why they're going for it. Okay. I'm literally putting that vision out there for people that we as a team are going for over $125,000 in bonuses. Okay. As a team, we're going for $125,000 in bonuses. And I say, this is a scary goal, but we're going to make it happen. Do you know what that does for your business? Not only it holds yourself accountable, but it's also showing other people that you're willing to fight for it. It's attracting other people who are willing to fight for their goals, who are willing to show up for their goals. And it's also attracting other people who desperately need that money and they need a leader who's not willing to back down until they make it happen. Because if you're not willing to back down on your own goals, they look at it as she's not going to back down on me either. So it's so important to put those goals out there. I do it all the time. You can do this. And here's just a couple of examples on how you can make it happen. You could go on your story and do a video on your story and say, this is what I'm going for. This is why I'm doing it. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it anyways. You could post on Facebook about your goal, your ending goal by the end of this month or by the end of next month. You could make a little graphic. I did this for Tina 1 month and I do this for myself all the time. You literally just get yourself like a little colored background and you write a little note at the top of what you're going for and why you're going for it. And then how many customers and distributors you need in order to make that happen. And then you number all the way down that graphic and you post it every single day on your Facebook story. And any loyal customer you get, fill in the blanks with their name. Any distributor you get, fill in the blanks with their name. So people are physically watching you hit this bonus. People are physically watching you do this. If you need help with this, message your upline, or I mean, you can message me too. I'm most people's upline that's on here right now, but I know there's going to be some people who are going to be on the recording. I literally just go and I find a cute background from Pinterest. And that's all that I do. And I count down so that people know this is what I'm fighting for. This is so good for people who are wanting to get started as a loyal customer, but they don't know when the right timing is. This lets them know this is the right time because it's actually helping you, right? This is also helping those people who are distributors see that big goals can be accomplished because you're not willing to back down until you make it happen. This is also sharing with them what it looks like to fight for something. So it is so important to put it out there. And the very last thing, and this is what I'm going to leave you guys with tonight. This is number 5. You go where you focus. There is no going back. Okay. I can't tell you how many times at month end I have gone for a massive promotion and my mind has tried tricking me out of going for it. Has anybody ever felt this before? Drop a 4 in the chat if you've ever felt this before, where you are going for a bonus and in your mind, you have literally heard yourself say to yourself, there's no way you can get this. I don't know if you're going to really be able to make this happen. Is this really true? Can you really do this? Right? Lisa, Ashley, I know every single one of us has felt this way. So I made a TikTok one time that actually talked about this, and it's really funny. I'll share it in the chat afterwards. But it was this is what it looks like at month end. And it was like I don't know if I can make this happen. Can I do this? Am I really gonna make this happen? Like, you know, am I gonna get the customers? Am I gonna get the distributors? Is Facebook gonna lock me out? Are they not gonna lock me out? What is gonna happen? You know, these thoughts are running rancid through our head, and it's the enemy speaking lies. Okay. I want you to know that when it comes down to it, there's always a breakdown before there's a breakthrough. Every single time I have ever gone for a bonus or I've ever gone for a promotion, there has always been a breakdown before there was a breakthrough. And what I mean by that was I was getting that bonus while I was crying, kicking, and screaming like a 3-year-old. Okay. Terrified of whether I could make it happen or not. Something that a lot of people don't know about me is that when I first started this business, I was struggling so bad. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, everything was at its peak. And I was having panic attacks almost every single day because I felt this tremendous amount of guilt for not being with my child. I felt this tremendous amount of guilt for not being able to pay my bills. And so when I started this business, not really knowing what I was doing, and I was going for promotions again and again and again and again, and I would get to month end, naturally it would cause me to have a panic attack because I was already having panic attacks throughout the day. I ended up in the hospital like 4 times. And so many people looked at me and they said, why do you keep doing this if it's doing this to you constantly? But in those moments, I knew 100% that when it came down to it, I was having those because I wanted it so bad. Right? And I was not willing to back down. I was more afraid of what would happen if I backed down than what would happen if I just kept going forward. And at that moment, I just kept going. There was no stopping me. I wanted it so bad. I was hungry. I was focusing on it so much to the point where I was shaking every single day because I needed it so bad. I was so hungry. There was nothing more that I wanted in my life than to be with my child. And I was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. And so a lot of you guys weren't in my story at that point, but I want you to know that that was my story when I first started. It was really crazy. You can ask Matt. Sometimes I'll have to get Matt on a Zoom so he can share his perspective of what it looked like. Drop a 5 in the chat if you guys would love that. If I got Matt on here to share his perspective as my other half of what it looked like when we first started this business and how crazy it is. I want to show of hands. Awesome. I'll talk to him. I'll see what he thinks about getting on here and just kind of sharing it. He's not much of a talker, so I'd have to do like questions and stuff. Maybe we can submit some questions and see which questions he could answer so he can kind of review it beforehand with himself. Because he does get choked up when he talks to a crowd. He is not any Chelsea, okay? Like, we are total opposites. I'm the talker, he is the silent one. So we'll see what we can do on it, but I'll let him know. You guys go put in the chat, blow up the chat and say we want Matt on here so I can go and show it to him. So anyways, when it comes down to it, you've got to make a decision. And that's what I did at the beginning of my business. And I still do it every single time I go for promotions. I make a decision that it is happening. There is no backing down. There is no walking away. There is no prematurely quitting. There is no, well, I'll get it next time. Or, well, if it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen, right? There is no backing down from it. I make the decision. And when you make a decision, you will feel it. A lot of you guys are thinking in your head right now, well, I'm making the decision. But in reality, you're not making the decision, because when you do make the decision, there will be nothing stopping you. You will be in the chats, blowing the chats up. You will be so excited. You will be shaking. You will be freaking out. You will be messaging your upline nonstop. You will be so pumped, so fired up. You will feel it in every single ounce of your body. It is the biggest adrenaline rush I have ever gotten in my entire life. And I've been through a lot of crap, guys. If you knew me before I started this business, I was a wild child. So the fact that I say that it's the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had, that's telling you something, okay? This is the Lord's work. That's what we're doing here. And when you feel that, that is Him with you the entire time. And I want you to know that. And so you just have to keep following Him, keep following that excitement, keep following that adrenaline rush, keep following those hormones releasing, because when it comes down to it, the opposite direction is following the enemy. And so all those lies that are being brought in your head, like, can you really do it? Are you going to make it happen? That's not Him speaking. That's the enemy speaking. And you've got to learn how to distinguish between the two. So I focus every single time. Another thing is when you focus on something, there is no distractions popping up. And what I mean by that is people are going to ask you if you want to go do something. You're going to have to tell them no. You're going to have to tell them, I want this more than I want to go out to eat. I want this more than I want to be able to, go out and go shopping with you for the day, or go do this for the day, or go do that for the day. Okay. I want to make this happen because it's going to allow me to do that again and again and again and again, because I can own my own time at that point. You're going to make that decision, and it's going to be crystal clear, not only to your team and your upline and yourself, but it's going to be crystal clear to everybody that's in your every single day life. They're going to feel that boundary be set hard. And it's going to be scary because some of those people are going to walk away. And that just means that they are not meant in your life at that point. They are not for you at that point. Okay. And so I had a lot of people when I first started and I was going for big promotions, they walked out of my life. And back then I looked at it like, how dare they do that? Right? How dare they turn their back on me in my biggest season, when I'm so excited, I'm so pumped up, I'm so fired up. How dare they? Right? But now I look at it like, wow, God removed that person from my life so that I could be this, so I could do this, so I could do these big things, because He knew that I could not do these big things with that person in my life. Right? That was something that really changed everything for me. There was a season where I had a family member that was, very relevant to me, that had to step out for a little while. I had to set a very, very hard boundary. And that person did not like it, but I had to do it to get to where I am. And now that person is a big part of my life. But back then, we didn't see eye to eye because they didn't know my dream like I did. And that dream wasn't given to them, it was given to me. So I had to fight for it, not them. And they might not have understood it, but I did. And so I just kept going. And it changed everything for me, and it will for you too. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have days where you're sick. You're going to have days where your kids are sick. You're going to have days where you don't want to show up because you worked a long day. You're going to have days where you are frantic, where you are just tired, where you just feel numb, like you don't want to do anything. You've got to make the decision to show up. And it doesn't matter what you have to do to get there. Maybe it's sending a quick message to your upline saying, hey, listen, like, I don't feel it today and I just need to feel it. Like, I need to get up, just so that they can hype you up and get you excited and put your why back in front of you. Because a lot of the times why we slow down and why we stop focusing on where we're going is because we lose sight of our why for a minute. We start forgetting that we have a little girl that's watching us, right? We stop forgetting that we told ourselves we were coming home to our son. We forget that we have a family that's making sure, that a family that really needs us right now, right? We forget how much we hate that job that we're working every single day, that we want to leave, but we don't know how to leave because we don't have anything else but this. We forget that. And so sometimes it takes someone else putting it in front of you. Sometimes it takes you putting it in front of you. I used to do this thing when I first started this business where I would Pinterest. Anybody like Pinterest on here? Drop a 6 in the chat if you love Pinterest. Pinterest was my jam back then, and it still is. So every single time that I get lost and I feel like, okay, I'm like in this funk and I don't know where I'm going. There's a couple different things that I do to get back on board with my why. I go to Pinterest and I Pinterest the crap out of my dreams, my goals, what I want my house to look like, what I want my yard to look like, what vacations do I want to take, what do I want my vehicle to look like, what are some things that I want but I can't have because of money, right? That I need this promotion or I need this business to make the money for. I get my why in front of me. The second thing that I do is I write down a checklist of the things that I should be doing that I'm not doing. Because it's much easier to do things when you have a checklist in front of you, right? That is your boss at that point telling you, you can't go to bed until you get this checklist done. You can't go out with your friends until you get this checklist done. You know, you can't sit down and watch a movie and relax for a little while till you get this done. You've got to get that checklist out. You've got to get your why out in front of you. You've got to get surrounded by other people who are excited and pumped up. This is why so many of us listen to motivational videos when we're in a funk, right? We listen to those motivational videos. We go listen to a podcast. Why do you think when a lot of you guys, you'll send me a message and say that your day is going crappy or like you're just getting blocked after blocked after blocked, and I tell you, what was your personal development you did today? I ask you that question for a reason. Because your mindset is not with it. And so if your mindset's not with it, your work ethic's going to show up like that. And then if your work ethic is, if your mindset's crappy today, what do you think your work ethic's going to be today? If your mindset is, I'm tired, what do you think your work ethic's going to be that day? Guys, we are paid based on our work ethic. And our work ethic is a reflection of our mindset. This is why they say your income will never surpass your mindset. Write that down. Your income will never surpass your mindset. It starts with your mindset and then it flows into your work ethic. Your mindset not only flows into your work ethic, but it also flows into your leadership and the way that you talk to people. It also flows into your relationships, your relationship with your man, your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your kids. It flows into literally everything you do. And so how are you supposed to attract someone else if your mindset is still stuck back there? You've got to get out of your own way. You've got to get your mindset going. So the more you grow your mindset, the more you acknowledge what you're doing, the more you write it down and revisit your why, and the more you surround yourself with other people who are fighting for their why too. Get in that person's inbox that hypes you up. Don't stop. Keep sending those messages so you can get that hype up that you need. Okay. So you're going to have those hard days and you need to write it down. You've got to write it down. You've got to get loud about where you're going, and do not return to your comfort zone, because that's what's happening every single time that you have those fears and those doubts that are going in your head. You're trying to return to your comfort zone. You've got to get out of it. Start being honest with yourself. Start getting out of your head and get in the game. Get loud, get proud about it, get excited about it. Start talking to somebody about it. Start setting yourself a goal. Write these goals down. Write them on sticky notes and put them on your cupboards in your kitchen. Write them on your mirror in your bathroom. Write them on your desk. Write them on your computer. Get it as your background on your phone. Tell everybody, tell your coworkers, tell your mom, tell your other half, tell your kids. This is the best way to hold yourself accountable. Tell your kids what you're doing. Tell your kids what you're going for. Talk to them about why you're doing it. If your biggest thing is that you want to come home because you want to be with your kids, I know we have a lot of moms on here, that's why I refer to it like that, right? When it comes down to it, if your biggest goal is to come home to your kids, start telling them that. Say, I want to come home to you. And so I am working this business. I am making it happen. I need you to hold mommy accountable. Can you do that? They will remind you. I promise you that. My child, I told her every single day that I was building her a new bedroom. I asked her, what color do you want the walls? You want high ceilings or low ceilings? You want a swing in your room? She got a swing, right? What color do you want your bedding? What color do you want your curtains? You're gonna have a closet. What do you want your closet set up like? We used to draw pictures all the time. This is Bailey's biggest thing. We would draw pictures of what her room would look like. She literally she dreamt up her entire room. She told me exactly what she wanted. And Bo was little, he barely even knew. But when it came down to it, I would constantly talk to Matt about his bedroom and what I wanted it to look like and the vision that I had for it. Guys, it's all about the vision. It's all about the mindset. It's all about revisiting your why consistently again and again and again. You've got to make the decision. You've got to be honest with yourself. You've got to understand the difference between your fear and your comfort zone and what it looks like to be outside of it. And you've got to force yourself to get out of it, get out of your own way, get in the game. Let's make it happen. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you hopping on here. I know we ran a little bit over, but we ran a little bit over because I was a little bit late. Let's be real. So I love you guys so much and I hope you have a great night.